Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is the amazing gamer DJ MC here. Okay, just for right now, today and probably tomorrow, there ain't gonna be any live streams or anything because I had to clean out my closet because there was a little issue with the bathroom upstairs, like it's leaking into my closet. So my cousin's coming in tomorrow to fix that, and hopefully, so I can put all of this back in. But see how long it will take to get it back in there. That's the question, but there's no reason for me making this video. Okay, so this is a Dragon Ball related video. For all the Dragon Ball fans, which fusion of Goku and Vegeta do you guys like? Vegito or Gogeta? And I'm gonna somewhat do like a pro and cons list on both of the characters and somewhat of their styles and, well, not really styles, but more likely in a scenario of them fighting, I guess. Like, not them fighting each other, because we probably would know Vegeta would win, but then again, that depends on a lot of reasons, actually. But anyway, let's start off with Vegeta first, because there's not that many cons with him, but there are always something to do with the fusion of him. Okay, so when we first see Vegito in the Majin Buu saga, he is a Batara earring fusion. Now, what the Batara earrings are, they are earrings that are only worn by a deity called a Supreme Kai. A well-known fact, however, a lot of people might not know this, but then again, you probably already knew this, but then again, you might not. The Batara earrings, if you are a Kai, like a Supreme Kai, and whoever you fuse with, you are permanently stuck in that fusion. But it ain't until we find out in Dragon Ball Super if you are not a deity or a Supreme Kai, the same thing. It turns out the fusion for us mortals only lasts about 1 hour. However, the fusion time limit can be sped up for a lot of reasons. For number one, if you use, actually the only reason is if you use too much power. That's the problem with both the Batara fusion and the fusion dance. If you use too much power, you will speed up your time limit on being in a fused person. Now, I want to talk about Vegeto's fights with the only people we have seen fight so far in Dragon Ball canon. That would be Buhan from Dragon Ball Z and then Fuse Zamasu from Dragon Ball Super. Let's get with Buhan out of the way. Now, in the manga version of the Majin Buu saga, Vegeta did appear in his base form, but then just went straight to Super Saiyan. We can see that in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the video game. Because that game is mostly a little bit based on the manga, while it does have some of the anime voice actors. If I would have to say, I would say Dragon Ball Z Kai voice actors. That's just my opinion. You guys can say whoever you want to think who's doing the voice acting. But in the anime version of the Majin Buu fight, Vegeta does somewhat mess with Buhan for a bit in his base form before powering up to Super Saiyan. So I would say Vegeta in that point had somewhat stalled the fight for almost an entire hour. That's why he defused it when they went inside Majin Buu, because Goku and Vegeta must have either spend up a little bit of their time limit by powering Vegeta up, or it was about to expire. That's just my guess. Now, we're going to get to future Fuse Zamasu's fight with Vegeta. Now, for all of you who are not familiar with the Goku Black Art, some dick Supreme Kai named Zamasu got his ass kicked by Goku when he and Beerus decided to pay the 10th universe a visit, and Zamasu saw how powerful Goku was, so he decided to get the Super Dragon Balls to make a wish to switch bodies with Goku, and then straight up murdered every fucking beings in the galaxy and timelines. So he goes to the timeline where Vegeta's son from the future Trunks is from, where Goku has died from a heart virus, and not only that, all the Z fighters are dead from the future Android versions of Android 17 and 18. Trunks Future Trunks timeline had somewhat a good peace for a while, because unlike Vegeta, who fucked around because he wanted to fight Goku, Trunks made sure that Majin Buu in his timeline was not resurrected. So another great thing about Future Trunks, he ain't nothing like his father. Thank God for his mother. But anyway, Zamasu goes to Trunks' timeline and tries to kill him so many times, but also tries to get the feel of Goku's body. Anyway, he teams up with his future self in Trunks' timeline and makes that Zamasu immortal. And Trunks has to go ask for his dad and Goku's help, because at this point, Goku and Vegeta have Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. Which, a little known fact, in the manga version of the Goku Black arc, Goku Black can turn into a normal Super Saiyan. It's just, for some reason in the anime, they only give him Rose. And if you're wondering what is Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black, it is Zamasu and Goku's body's version of Super Saiyan Blue. So instead of the hair being blue, it's pink. Anyway, so yeah, and then Zamasu decides to take the earrings he and Black had, and they fuse into Fuse Zamasu, and Goku and Vegeta separately cannot defeat him, so they have to fuse. Now, when Vegeta made his triumphant return in Super, we see him in base form, and then he straight up goes straight to Super Saiyan Blue. Which, I will admit, is nice to see that their fusions can have access to their godlike transformations. That is cool and all. But the problem is, I guess with the god powers, it speds up the time a bit faster, because if I would have to guess, Vegeta's fusion only lasts about 5 minutes. Because he defused when he punched Zamasu in the stomach in the air. Now, I'm just gonna say this. During those two fights that Vegeta has ever been shown in, that's where I'm gonna have to mention Gogeta real quick, because Gogeta has managed to win his fights against a strong opponent, unlike Vegeta, because Vegeta decides to dick around. Then again, he is somewhat cocky because of both Goku and Vegeta's personalities. Now, let's get to Gogeta. Now, I will be including the Dragon Ball Z movie Fusion Reborn and the Super Broly movie, and I will be talking about the transformations Gogeta does have available to him. So that includes GT. I mean, I could include the stuff from Heroes, but again, don't have much information for Dragon Ball Heroes. So, yeah. First things first, Gogeta was first shown in Dragon Ball Fusion Reborn. As for what year, I cannot remember. But he is a fusion between Goku and Vegeta if they do the fusion dance. Now, the thing is, Gogeta was technically already canon to the Dragon Ball mythos. In fact, he was supposed to be the one that was supposed to be used in the Majin Buu arc, but I think because of the Fusion Reborn movie coming out before they were almost done with the Majin Buu arc, what they did is that's where Vegito came in, so that's why Vegito exists in both manga and the anime. Now, Gogeta, at first when Goku and Vegeta did try the fuse dance the first time, I think Vegeta must have messed it up, or either Goku, because when they fuse, they turn into the fat Gogeta version against Janemba. Or Super Janemba, I should say, because the purple one, I guess, is his super form. I really need to, at some point, try and find that movie on DVD so I can watch it. But anyway, Gogeta was able to be overpowering Super Janemba just in Super Saiyan 1 form, and then just defeats him. Now, this is where I'm going to mention Dragon Ball GT. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I would like to say, is probably God tier because he was overpowered as hell. Because, true, in Dragon Ball GT, he did not finish his fight with Omega Shenron because that fusion only lasts about 10 minutes. But he had Omega Shenron on the one, so if Goku and Vegeta decided to hurry up with the fight instead of just messing with him, they could have just ended Omega Shenron. So, Gogeta managed to win one fight in a non-Dragon Ball Z canon movie. And then, hard to debate on the GT series a little bit. Now get to the actual canon timeline that takes place after the Tournament Power Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, which I did see when I bought it on DVD. For the first time ever, we have seen the return of Gogeta. Not only that, we get to see what he looks like in base form, not just in Super Saiyan. Gogeta took his time fighting Broly, not only in base form, but also Super Saiyan, and then power way up to Blue, and he did not manage to defuse. So technically, Gogeta did beat Broly, even though Broly was saved by Chi, who used the Dragon Balls to send him back to his home, or temporary home planet, which is fine. But if that Kamehameha did hit Broly, he would have been super dead. So if I would have to say who would win in a fight, people will probably say Vegeta because the longer fusion time limit on the Potara E-Wings, but then I list the cons about what happens if you use too much power. True, that applies to both fusions, but here's the thing that we don't know much about the Pataras. Like, is there a time, like, do we have to wait for an hour time limit for the Pataras to work again? That's the thing. With the fusion dance, we do know. The fusion dance lasts about 30 minutes, so that's half an hour. And then we have to wait another 30 minutes for the dance to be used again. So, in other words, which fusion of Goku and Vegeta do you guys prefer? Vegito or Gogeta? Let me know in the comments.